So I'm Professor Sampoornam from India. Basically, I'm a psychiatric nurse. Currently, I'm working as a professor in an IJKK Sampoorani Ammal College of Nursing, Namakkal, and I'm here to present a very short paper on forensic psychiatric nursing career development. Next slide. Yeah, it's a nutshell abstract. Forensic nursing is a rapidly evolving specialty in the nursing field, but it is an essential component that bridges the gap between healthcare and judicial system. Typically, forensic nurses work with victims of crime, conducting examinations, preserving evidence, and providing testimony in court. However, forensic psychiatric nurses bring a unique combination of psychiatric evaluation and nursing expertise to the field. So I've been only a nurse so far. So forensic is totally a different field, you all know, as you all know. So I've seen many nurses, those who work with those who work under the forensic department. You know, something it's very special. They are paid very high than general nurses or neuropsychiatric nurses even, and they work and toil, and they all fight with all clinical psychological autopsy, and they know what is dermatoglyphics, they know advanced science, they easily trace all the victims, of course. And it's really a very beautiful task of a forensic psychiatric nurse, and we'll just follow the future slides to know about all. Next slide. While they may perform physical examinations, their primary focus is on mental health of their patients, often treating offenders more than victims. So forensic psychiatric nurses are responsible for evaluating individuals who require court-ordered psychiatric evaluation and treating criminal offenders who may be mentally ill, similar to correctional nurses. Here, correctional nurses are nothing but forensic psychiatric nurses. And unless and until there is some court order, we don't touch the point called forensic psychiatry. Correctional nurses, only after court order, they start their action. They go for all physical examination, of course, mental status examination. They are with the offenders, and of course, with victims, they see both sides, and they finally submit all papers in the court. Next slide. They also evaluate the mental state of criminal victims and work with the juveniles and juvenile correctional institutions. Of course, they handle all children below 18 years. In addition to their clinical responsibilities, they may also connect their patients with social or medical services to aid in their rehabilitation. Next slide. Uh, Forensic nurse gross salary in India, it's no wonder average forensic nurse gross salary in India is 9,44,261, or an equivalent hourly rate of rupees 454. Just imagine, per hour, forensic nurses are paid 454 gross amount, and in addition, they earn an average bonus of rupees 15,486. It could be just a bonus. And salary estimates based on salary survey data collected directly from employers and anonymous employee in India. So it is actually a statistical report, average report of all the nursing personnel or forensic nurses, those who work in the department of forensic science. So an entry level of forensic nurse, like 1 to 3 years of experience, they earn an average salary of rupees. It takes like 6,80,854. On the other end, a senior level forensic nurse, like 8+ year of experience, earn an average salary of 11,87,106. Just imagine how far forensic nurse they earn in India. It's great. Next slide. So average salary of a forensic psychiatric nurse is around $42,000, and this is only an average, and it can depend greatly on employer, geographic location, and experience as well. Benefits which is again offered, and centers offering courses in forensic psychiatry. So as in India, All India Forensic Psychiatric Entrance Exam of course, this will be conducted this year also. There's a national level entrance test to enroll into forensic science courses of its various participating universities. So all universities, those who run this course, will take this exam special entrance test, and based on the like their entrance performance, of course, their screening level, they'll enter into this particular course. Next slide. Candidates who are interested in pursuing a career in this field can apply to the course through this examination. The duration of the course is 3 years for the baccalaureate program, of course, for BSc program, and 2 years for master's program. And National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience, you all know very well about NIMANS Bangalore, has 5 decade long history of evaluation. Just imagine 50 years they've passed with all these history of forensic department and the practice of forensic psychiatry for a long time, like more than 50 years of experience. Yes, next slide. So, role of psychiatric nurse or nurse in forensic psychiatry. So, forensic psychiatric nurses work with mentally disordered offenders in order to secure psychiatric services where they assess the patient's victim or even and gather evidence that may influence convictions. You all know what is conviction again, and sentencing, and of course for even like regressive imprisonment or any other punishment also, nurses play a big role. And of course, recidivism and treatment and prevention. Recidivism, again, like they'll call again, and again they'll reevaluate the particular case or the victim or the offender. So in such case also, nurse play important role, and they submit certain documents which is relevant to that particular client or victim. Like it could be like dermatographic. See, nowadays, many some long back, those who have committed like assassination or murder, they may act as a mentally ill. At present, nobody can act as a mentally ill. They cannot go under the law called Magnorton rule. They'll be really put or they'll be really punished under regressive imprisonment or any other sentencing, or of course conviction, in the sense because of purely because of dermatoglyphics, because dermatoglyphics is a computerized programming, and unless and until there is some fingerprint, a fingerprint itself will state that particular person is having mental illness or not. So that fingerprint will let the world to know that person has mental illness or not. So that if a person is really with mental illness and he has committed some assassination or murder, he'll be under a Magnorton rule. Or if not, so he's really acting and he'll be punished literally. Next slide. So now I'm here to talk about computerized dermatoglyphics. So dermatoglyphics was first introduced and discovered by Johans in the year 1820s. So very long back. So finger and handprints are extensively used in forensic psychiatry, you all know. Even in films and mass media would have observed the same. And computerized scanner sensor will detect and predict mental disorders. It's no wonder in the field of forensic psychiatry. So just imagine that computerized scanner will sense the fingerprint and will tell that person is having mental illness like schizophrenia, autism, mood disorder, etc. So high frequency of dermatoglyphic changes or symmetry or asymmetry is an indication of mental disorder. Next slide. See, this is actual picture of dermatoglyphics. Okay, it is used to, yeah, this is picture, very short picture. So in this picture, you can see the index finger placed in the scanner or the sensor. So it can give reading whether the patient has any psychiatric problem or mental illness like schizophrenia, mood disorder, autism, or any other disorder. Okay, next slide. It is used to identify schizophrenia. You all know it is a severe mental illness. Of course, it is chronic also. Literally, it is a thought disorder with auditory hallucination and, of course, delusions. And in depression, it is purely a mood disorder. And autism, Alzheimer's disease, you all know, memory impairment, and mental retardation. Now, the word mental retardation has been changed to intellectual developmental disorder as per ICD 11 classification. And dyslexia also can be detected. And forensic health care worker must explain the procedure to all the subgroup patients. As next, psychological autopsy. So, psychological autopsy is a procedure used to identify like equivocal death of a person. It's an immediately clear whether the person committed suicide or not. Could be like because of drug ingestion, death, or single car accident, death, etc., etc. It is basically a mental status examination of deceased or those who are dead. So you all may wonder how to conduct a small short interview with a dead person. So it doesn't mean that a dead cannot be interviewed. We can interview with family members, relatives, neighbors, friends, etc., etc., because they might be the right person to give the right information about the deceased. So it's the way we go for psychological autopsy in forensic department. In augmentation, information is gathered from available healthcare, of course, psychiatric records and forensic examination. Next slide. Does a psychological autopsy and records. Just now I told the informant, and an informant can be like family members, relatives, neighbors, friends, etc., etc., or who is really very close to the victim or the deceased. The early generation of psychological autopsies rooted that more than 90% of completed suicides has suffered from usual comorbid mental disorders, most of them clinically diagnosed to have mood and substance use disorder, double underline, most of them had mood and substance abuse disorder like alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, etc. Next slide. Furthermore, they disclose that under treatment of these mental disorders without any contact with psychiatric or other healthcare services might be the reason for committed suicide. And conclusion, as the field of forensic nursing continues to grow, the role of forensic psychiatric nurses will become increasingly important. Yes, next. Yeah, the unique combination of nursing and psychiatric expertise allows them to provide critical care to individuals involved in the criminal justice system. By working closely with the law enforcement and the judicial system, forensic psychiatric nurses play a vital role in ensuring justice is served while also providing compassionate care to those in need. As with this, I'm concluding my topic. Any queries can be asked right now. Thank you so much for your patience listening. And I thank the organizing committee and of course Gezel. Hardbone thanks to Gezel. Really, because of you, I've submitted this abstract purely in spite of busy schedule. And really, I thank Gezel and all the organizing committee members also. Thank you so much.